once you start repelling everything near the castle. And here we go. We have started. They are getting their instructions to go defeat the Dragon Lord, collect the 3 key items, get your rainbow drop, and progress. First one is a fairy flute. Erdrick's armor in the armory! Oh, I apologize for the commentator's curse! No, this is a problem, because now you are going to repel everything in Zone 0, 1, 2, possibly even 3? Which means you're not going to find anything smaller than a scorpion on the overworld anymore. Wait, you actually ran into a red slime with Erdrick's armor on permanent repel? Huh. And of course, repel does work in dungeons. However, this is the staff cave immediately outside. Rinildar not too far away either, it looks like. Just outside of the jerk cave. Freebie Cave has wings. And we are off to a race, folks. You'll notice there's almost nothing Janice is running into because everything has been repelled because of the armor. Oh, we got a Charlock sighting on Tristal's side, so we know Charlock is fairly nearby. Big Slemu runs into a knight and gets sent back home. Yeah, Magidrakey shows up but has DL2 breath? Ouch, murder bats are out there. Dro Magi runs into Tristal and sends him home. Yeah, the problem is, with Erdrick's armor, looks like Zarnax did a complete reset, restarting his entire run. He's gonna probably avoid that Erdrick's armor, but if he does that, he will never get it, because you can never get those chests once they go away. Janus is in Mountain Cave, so is Big Slemu, it looks like. So yeah, Zarnax just skipping the armor entirely. But as is pointed out in chat, it's in the throne room itself. It's gone forever if you don't pick it up. Which means you're going to have to fight the Dragon Lord without Erdrick's armor. Is this actually a soft lock? No, it's just going to mean a really, really obnoxious DL2 fight. Either way, this is going to be a very interesting seed. Drakeys also have DL2 breath, so Drakeys and Magidrakeys both have DL2 breath. Ouch. Murder bats gonna murder ya. Yeah, I mean, Zarnax does have a reputation for grinding to high levels. He may just decide, you know what, I'm gonna grind up to 150 hit points to eat 2 DL2 breaths without Erdrick's armor. That could be what his game plan is. But yeah, this is permanent repel, boomeranging on these players. I don't think they quite realize what has happened. Janice looks like has gotten into Rimildar, so has Big Slemu. I'm not sure how you get out of this one other than maybe hoping into something like a metal slime and throwing a couple of torches at it or something. This is... Ooh, there's the copper sword for Janice. There's actually a silver shield in Rimildar available. Good to know for future reference, assuming we get that far. Big Slime sees Charlock here, runs into a wolf, and gets eaten. My, what big teeth you have. Yes, and of course the other thing is, with the Erdrick's armor, you'll be auto-repelling metal slimes. Fairy Water, Cursed Belt, Magic Key, and Silver Harp is in the armory that Janice just picked up. First key item found. Plus that Fairy Water is going to be useful. Throwing it at an enemy does do the same thing as a hurt spell. only no resistance chance except for metal slimes. And that could be a way to get a level or two on some of these more powerful enemies, which are the only ones you're gonna find with Erdrick's armor equipped. Meanwhile, Zarnax is trying to take on this ghost here, but is having none of it and gets sent back home. Big Slamu now getting into the armory, so that's going to be interesting. He's going to get his harp and some fairy water as well. Looks like Janice Zeal is actually using a little-known factoid. You can play the harp to get a guaranteed encounter that bypasses the repel effect. So he's actually using this harp to grind on these low-level enemies, which are normally repelled away. Galaxy brain move here for Janice Zeal could actually put them on first place footing. Yeah, that's gonna be what he's gonna do. He's just gonna sit there, play the harp, get these low-level encounters, get a couple of levels, and win. And we actually have a prediction in chat about when is Hurtmore going to come up. Is it before or after level 8? So we will see the answer to that question, hopefully, as we start running. Janice continuing to play the harp and grind up some of these lobby mods. Remember, because we don't have the randomized mobs spawning, he's sitting on the castle. He's guaranteed to get Zone 0 enemies, which is slimes and red slimes, and I think maybe Drakies. Question in chat, how did Zarnax lock himself in the armor? Well, the problem is the armor spawned in the throne room chest. However, it's permanent repel, so he was repelling everything that he could reasonably take on. So he did a complete reset, did not take the armor, and left. He is locked out of ever getting the armor on his run, unfortunately. Janice Zeal here looks like is in the lead with doing these. Okay, you can get Drakies in Zone 0. That's good to know. Of course, the problem is Drakies do have DL2 breath, so that could be a very painful way of finding that out for Janus in a bit. Except he keeps critting them and one-shotting them, so it doesn't ever really come up. He's at level 3 now. He does have the experience lead on everybody else. Big Slamu Tristal still in level 1 territory. Oh, nope. Big Slamu with a big win. Just hit level 4. Just nailed that wolf and managed to bump up to level 4 almost, just in one shot. Now he's able to start taking some more powerful things on. Janice also moving out, does have that copper sword he picked up earlier, so could also start making some plays here as well now that he's starting to wander out into the wider world, and the seed has been broken open. Alright. Apologies if you can hear that in the background. We're just experiencing a little bit of hail here. But looks like wyverns do have the the baby breath, but that's going to be more than enough to send Crystal back home, unfortunately. Oh, is that coming in on the thing? My apologies. Yeah, unfortunately, when you live where I do, you sometimes get some interesting weather.
Well, I can hop in and say, good evening, Sneaky, and what a start.
Hey, Monsieur Slime, welcome to the commentators table. Looks like Big Slamu has gotten into grave. What heck of a start here, hasn't it?
This has been wild and some really interesting strats thus far. Again, reasons I'm not in the playoffs, I would not have thought to do this harp trick that Janice is doing. But yeah, what a fascinating start and seeing all the different approaches.
Absolutely, absolutely. Looks like Crystal tried to take on this Metal Scorpion and was unable to. That Fairy Water could potentially have one-shot it, maybe?
Yeah, that Fairy Water in the treasury here has certainly been key for a couple of our folks here. Interesting, Zarnax is having a hard time getting off of level 2 even without the armor. But meanwhile, Janice continues to toot the flute there and slowly approaching level 4. Big Slamoo's got a Wolf Lord on deck here. And Zarnax is fighting a ghost. You know, Tristan's got the Metal Scorpion, which I believe is the weakest enemy they can get, and he takes it down, which should pop us up to level 4 if I'm doing the math right. I'm not. It's 35. You know, Zarnax moving up to level 3. I'm not sure where Big Slamoo is navigating right now. But yeah, it looks like we may have lost my co-commentator here with that hailstorm. Hopefully things come back online here in a little bit, but in the meantime, I'll try and get us through as best we can. Big Slamoo's got a Drill Magi here. I'm not sure if they'll be able to take it down here, but it has a couple of Fairy Waters in the bag. Be a big takedown if they can get it. Will this torch get it done? Oh, they've got Heal More. That's nasty. So that one's probably off the table for now. It takes a Death Warp out. Meanwhile, we got Zarnax up in the desert by Sharlock trying to do a little bit of a grind. And Janice is exploring a little bit here, and Tristan's grabbing that Fairy Water once again. And joining us in the booth to help save me a bit here is Archfield Monk. Welcome.
Thank you. The guest appearance that nobody wanted or asked for.
Hey, I'll take it. So, quite an interesting race, and seemingly going to be a little bit slower here than we saw in the first race this afternoon or this evening.
Yeah, this is a direct 180 from not to spoil the earlier race if you haven't seen it yet, but yeah, this is a much different seed.
Yep, indeed. I do seem to recall most of them asking for pain in the chat beforehand. And actually, they had all agreed to reset on a level 1 hurt more, so I think they're enjoying this.
I think for the most part, this is kind of what they had in mind, right? Yeah, they did mention to me that it was kind of a handshake agreement before the race that level 1 hurt more was just, they were going to re-roll it even before the race started, because of course they'd be able to see it in the tracker, so... Yeah, this is, yeah, we're in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, looks like Tristan got up to level 5 at some point here. But yeah, it's going to be a slog, at least, especially in this early to mid game.
I will say they've got 40 attack power. They do have sleep now. You can do some stuff with that. You've got stop spell. Looks like those Magiwyverns have hurt more. So that might actually be a great target right now. You can go after those. You're not going to do a ton of damage to them, but you can basically neutralize them if they're casting that hurt more spell a lot.
Yeah, that stop spell strat can be really key. Especially in this seed setup where you've really got to hunt for really whatever's available.
Yeah. Here we see Janice. I think Janice is diving bottom 2 of Grave. I really like this play. Really, any of the dungeons are great to find because with the armor, you're repelling a ton of stuff already, and you can kind of clear them mostly for free. It's not trivial to get away from these mid-game enemies that are in lower reaches of Grave, but it's not that difficult either.
You know, looks at the first chest there's gold, but yeah, I agree with your comment. Like in the play here, if you get a sword or that be the king here, but it's worth taking a shot because what else are you going to do? At least these enemies you can still kind of deal with.
Yeah, exactly. And the heal walking just makes that all the better. You can keep your resources up while you're diving these various places too. Wraith Knight's the only thing you're really worried about in bottom zone of Grave, and Janice is going to get sent back before he gets to that 5th chest.
Oof.
Oh, have we already seen it? Yeah, I wasn't. I admit I was not fully tuned into what was happening.
Oh, I missed it too.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been fascinating for me was Zarnak's taking the reset to skip the armor, but he's still just like everyone else struggling to get off of these early levels.
Yeah, I mean, either way, that's kind of to be expected. It's not a great start. The strength is pretty low. You don't have a ton of access to gold to try to get an early weapon. The checks haven't really paid off that much in terms of what they've been able to find in the treasury and this kind of thing. So kind of the start you would expect for armor and throne room here.
Yeah, we're certainly seeing a lot of throne room as people go take that free key and that fairy water seemingly every time they're passing by.
Yeah, it's absolutely critical. That's your main offensive output at this point. Even Tristal, who has a Copper Sword in level 5, still only at 40 attack power. That's not enough to do it against most of the enemies that he can fight or that will be available for him to fight. So yeah, you're going to see them dip that key in that fairy water over and over again in this one.
Yeah, if I'm looking at this right, for Tristal, I think the Druid Lords, the kind of the easy enemy here. Druid Lords, Wolf Lords, Troll Magi, that's kind of the bottom. So those fairy waters are a complete necessity at this point. So meanwhile, Big Slimu's, I think, looking at a part of the map I haven't seen before, I fully could have missed it.
Yeah, I think the map is ultimately the most difficult thing to track in a quad. And he finds Hawksness, does the heel turn, and is gone.
The least possible helpful town right now.
Yes. Tristal's also in Grave, and he's going to dive to the bottom. The thing is, he can fight some stuff in here if he wants to. He's going to put this Wolf Lord to sleep. And he's got plenty of fairy water at his disposal. So this is not a bad zone for him right now. This is what? Wolf Lord, Druid Lord, Spectre, Droll Magi, and Wraith Knight. You're really only concerned about the Wraith Knight there because they're going to do a little bit more damage than the others. Although the Spectre is broken already, so not looking at that either.
Yep, and looks like Big Slamu has found the traditionally exciting Brecconary, but in this case, actually exciting Brecconary, and he'll take care of a few Fairy Waters.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge find. If you can stick close to Brecconary and there's a zone near here that you can fight so you can just buy Fairy Water instead of having to cycle them out of the treasury, then that's pretty great. He's given this Magiwyvern a long think. Yeah, he's going for the sleep. I don't blame him here. You're short on options, and he's got 3 Fairy Water, I think. This is doable. He's got to roll well. But he's got to keep it asleep and maybe wants to think about throwing a stop spell out there, too. No, he's going to run. What would actually be nice with keys and Fairy Water in the Tangential Treasury, if you could get a gold grind active and then just pick them all up at once, that would help.
I apologize for those technical difficulties, but I have returned. Apologies.
Fantastic. Welcome back, Sneaky. I'm gonna bounce.
Alright, so... Okay, it looks like everyone is back to level 5, so it looks like we've gotten out of the introductory snafu here and are actually going to start taking on enemies they can find. What else happened while I was gone?
So the biggest thing so far has been Big Slamu's kind of wandered the map a little bit here. We found Hawksness, which isn't that exciting, but found Brecconary. He was able to buy a couple of Fairy Waters. It doesn't look like there must have been a great grind there, because I think he kept moving on, but that's potentially a very nice, cheap way to get a level here by loading up on Fairy Waters, paying the $6 to heal and rinse repeat.
Absolutely, and that final torch engrave, the final chest was a torch engraved, so there was that. Zarnax looks like he's found a good zone to grind in, but of course, now the problem is Zarnax doesn't have the armor the other runners do. They've managed to catch up with him in experience, so it looks like that play to reset and dodge the armor has actually started to hurt him now.
Yeah, so far it hasn't looked ideal, although he does definitely have the experience lead, and although it looks like a small number at the moment, it probably feels quite large. Although, never mind, Tristle just took out something big and moved to level 6.
Droll Magi took it out with a torch.
As one does.
As one does. Yes.
So, Big Slamu's found Cantlin, and actually has a little bit of cash.
Almost, but not quite broadsword money. He's got 1,200. He's got Erdrick's armor, so he doesn't need to buy half-plate. He can still pick up, say, a large shield if it's on offer in one of these areas, but he's going to go check out the coordinates first. Meanwhile, Tristle running into a green dragon and getting eaten for it.
Nope, there's a coordinate, 79 south, 7 east. Lovely.
Yeah, of course, the thing is, you pick up a shield that's that many more enemies that you're going to be repelling. So, that's something to consider as well.
Yeah, maybe a Fairy Water load up here, maybe a check for a hand axe, but that's, yeah. I'd imagine the shields will be purchased pretty late.
Yeah, I mean, all he needs is another 300 and he's got broadsword money. That would be an enormous pickup for him.
Maybe that's what he's doing, gonna dive back in here for some more cash.
Yeah, as is pointed out in the chat, he loses Wolf Lords at 50 defense, so he doesn't dare pick up that large shield yet. Not until he's able to take on the more powerful enemies. Meanwhile, Zarnax is just grinding out in this little, little desert. Couple of tiles here, taking on these wolves.
Yep, its Flaming does have outside, so this can be a quick escape if he wants to. There it is.
Tristal now taking on a Wolf Lord. That sleep spell, so valuable for them because it gives them the opportunity to try and take on these enemies that are really they're punching above their belt right now at some of these enemies, doing anything they can to try and take them on to get some experience under their belt.
Yeah, Wolf Lord, Druid Lord, Troll Magi, those are probably the three you'd like to see here. Unless you don't have the armor, then the wolves are fantastic.
Now, Zarnax is still at level 6. He's on par with Tristal right now for experience points. These Warlocks, of course, are also going to be pretty valuable for Zarnax if he can keep them asleep long enough to actually take them on. Looks like he does get lucky with it and does take it out. There's another 28 experience under his belt. And level 7! By power increased by 1, response speed 3, 10 hit points, which is welcome, and 4 magic points ain't nothing to sneeze at. Not exactly the stat block you were hoping for. You were really hoping to get less agility and more strength.
Yeah, I'm not sure that takes out anything too much, because I think that put the... I'm showing them at, yeah, they're 20 defense power, so... Yeah, I mean, Druid is still on the table. Jokima Droll. That wolf's got a while.
Yeah, he's still got 8 defense points before he starts repelling those away. Meanwhile, he's going to go ahead and pick up a copper sword finally. This will help him take out those wolves a little bit more efficiently.
It looks like Tristal joining on level 7.
Ooh, Demon Knights with Baby Breath. That's actually not too intimidating for later on, but for right now, does send Slamu back home. Zarnax in Rimildar checking out this 1-for-2 deal. You know, the old Abbott and Costello send up, "Hey Abbott, can I get 2 10s for 5?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, low HP is very brutal in this particular flag set because you're repelling everything that doesn't hit very hard. Tristal MTG, meanwhile, finding the town of Garenham, actually. Finding a weapon shop here. He's got 500 bucks, but no axes on sale. There is a flame sword available, but out of his price range at the moment.
But perhaps some exciting things in store at the 3 chests back here. We'll take a peek.
Ooh, Death Necklace in the back of Garenham, as well as another Cursed Belt, and a Torch.
Well, they're up to 1,380 gold if someone decides to roll the dice with a low HP.
And it is Jerk Cave in the back of Garenham. Useful knowledge to possess, not that useful immediately.
Yeah, I think, unless I'm not remembering from early in the seed, I think we're missing coal, and that's it for towns. And I don't know that we actually checked all the shops in Cantland to see if there's an axe there or not. But
did we see Hawksness?
We have seen Hawksness very briefly, but yes, no check on the spike tile yet.
I wouldn't expect it at these levels. Meanwhile, Janice Zeal, who was originally doing very well with the trick with the harp, is actually found themselves a lagging a little behind.
Yeah, having a hard time. Just 89 experience.
Yeah,
And-
Slimu just got the broadsword from the North Shop at Cantlin. That is a big pickup because that's going to let him actually start taking on some of these bigger enemies that he's running into.
Yeah, that brings him up to 50 attack power. That's not a bad place to be, for sure.
Yep, now Slimu is going to harp his way to level 6, hoping that level 6 is going to be a more powerful level. Where was the token?
Great question. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head.
Ah, okay, from chat. Token was in the mountain. Gotcha. Yeah, unfortunately, I had to do a little bit of duck and cover briefly, but I'm back now.
Well, we're glad the movers took care of all those ice balls for you, and that you're back with us. It looks like Zarnax hit level 8. I missed what the stats were.
So we do not have Hurtmore at level 8. Therefore, Hurtmore after level 8.
Yeah, I think they're getting pretty much everything they dreamed of in chat here before the race started.
Well, there was a poll, or actually a betting, a little bet going on for channel points earlier about would they get hurt more by level 8 or after.
Oh, that's good. I think I won that bet, so now I'm nowhere near close to even after I lost the big bet on the first race.
Yeah, I saw that. Man, that first race was so close. If y'all haven't seen it, definitely check it out on the VODs later.
Yep, it's a fun one. We'll leave it at that, but yeah, it's worth a watch.
Question in chat. They got Erdrick's armor quickly. Where was it? It was actually in the throne room, one of the first 3 original chests. And in fact, Zarnax decided to completely reset and skip Erdrick's armor, meaning he is never going to be able to access it because those 3 chests never exist after you leave that throne room the first time.
Yeah, it's a pretty big bet because you get that advantage early where he's been able to take out these rolls with high frequency, but on the back end you're looking at a lot of extra levels.
Yeah, Magiwyverns have hurt more, so Jerkbirds are in play. Yeah, unfortunately, it is kind of a trade-off. Because the problem is we have a permanent repel flag on this seed, which means if you don't have the armor, you're able to take out lower level enemies. But if you don't have the armor, you don't have the armor for the Dragon Lord fight. And one of the big things Erdrick's armor does in that fight is it reduces the DL2 breath weapons damage to a maximum of 48.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I don't think I've actually seen someone take on a DL2 without it, so this will be fun.
Yeah, Zarnax has certainly set himself up for a long road, but he is in the lead experience-wise still, so, there could be a trade-off here. He may have to grind a couple of extra levels, depending on how the stats lay out, but he may have time to do that with his early advantage in his experience gains. We'll have to see.
Yeah, but it looks like Janice has kind of gotten off the mat a little bit here, using the harp strats to slowly grind her way or grind his way up to level 6. So hopefully some action there. And right on cue, Big Sam moves up to 7.
Yeah, Magi Wyverns also have heal more. Oof. Big oof. Yeah, nice stop spells target because both heal more and hurt more. You throw down the stop spell and they're substantially weaker if you can get it to stick. But ouch! 50% heal more, 75% hurt more. Ooh.
Yeah, with that stop spell, and the resistance is low enough at 6 out of 16. That's an incredibly attractive target in a seed like this.
That's still not quite 50%. That's what, 40%?
Yeah, it's still a decent amount, but
yeah, 37.
It's a lot of EX, it's a lot of XP.
The Magic Wyverns are worth a lot of XP. You have a valid point, but it's kind of like playing Rocket Tag. Do you win or do you lose? Coin flip on the stop spell.
Yeah, the HP is still kind of weak. Although at 49 HP, you can survive one shot, but you're not getting through 2.
Yeah, now point is made in chat. If you sleep first, then stop spell, you're pretty much guaranteeing yourself an easier fight. Of course, then you're blowing sleep and stop spell on a relatively low MP budget, meaning fewer that you can take reliably before you run out of mana. So again, we're looking at trade-offs here, and this actually plays really well into how do you roll with these challenges? What strategies do you adapt to be able to take this on in a timely manner? And that's why I really like this seed for the playoffs, because it really shows these players' skill and adaptability. I mean, things like Zarnax deciding to completely hard reset and skip the armor, knowing he will never get it ever in the entire seed, to try and get that early run in. Think strategies like this. Janice Zeal remembering that the harp can actually be used to summon encounters, and a couple of the other runners later on also figuring that out. Strats like this are why these seeds are so amazing.
Yeah, it certainly shows a lot of the aspects of the game that are often overlooked by the more traditional flags or anything we ran in weeks 1 through 5. It gives you the runner a lot more to think about along the way. Which is why I'm commentating now.
How does the saying go? Those who can do, those who can't commentate.
Absolutely. And typically those who can't commentate track, which is where I normally am.
Well, you're doing a really good job. And thank you, by the way, for stepping in at the last minute for the comms. Really do appreciate it. And speaking of appreciating it, big shout out also to Schmeik, who is our other tracker, our primary tracker for tonight, as Monsieur is kind of backing me up. I am Sneaky the Lost. With me is Monsieur Slime in the commentator's booth. Lord of the Scent is actually bringing us the restream. And also, linked in the chat is going to be our Discord. You like this stuff, you want to try it out for yourself, come on over. We're a welcome, open, friendly community. We're more than happy to help you get things set up for yourself, and who knows, we might see your name in the next tournament.
Yeah, I will absolutely vouch for that. This community's been nothing but welcoming and willing to help new folks along the way, and it's a lot of fun. And frankly, for someone who doesn't necessarily have the thumb skills, approachable.
Well, this is a turn-based RPG, so you don't have to have twitch reflexes like, say, I don't know, Hollow Knight.
Oh, geez, don't even get me started on that thing.
Did you know there's a Hollow Knight randomizer?
Oh, no. I
Oh,
shouldn't be...
yes.
Oh, look at that level 10 out of Zarnax. I think I saw 23 attack power.
Nice! That's exactly what he needed.
So, and I believe he's... If he hasn't gotten it, he's super close to Broadsword Cash. I believe that was noted in the chat.
Yeah, he's at 14, almost 1500. After he kills off this Wraith, he should have... Oh, he's 11 short of Broadsword money. If he's got a Cursed Belt, he could sell one off. Otherwise, yeah, he'll just take down this other Wraith, and he'll be able to have Broadsword money, and that's going to really be a shot in the arm for his ability to easily take down these enemies that he can find. Meanwhile, Tristal does find the mythical town of Cole. 4 steps south of the Bath of Cole, they find... Nothing! You get nothing! Which, of course, means that there is definitely something in Hawksness and on coordinates, because there have been 2 belts found.
Yeah, it feels like Sword and Hawksness, or not in Hawksness, in Sharlock just belongs today again, doesn't it?
That would be definitely keeping in the theme of this. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought Math Girl had rolled this seed.
Yeah, just go grab a cup of coffee. It might be a little while.
Alright, question in chat. What are the conditions for progress here? Well, this is the first set of playoff rounds, so the number 1 and number 2 place will be progressing. 3 and 4 will not be progressing in the tournament any farther. And this is just your typical randomizer flag set, with 2 exceptions, one of which being permanent repel, which, since the runners did get Erdrick's armor in the throne room, has definitely been an interesting challenge for this particular seed, the other one being no randomized mobs for the zones. So, meanwhile, we've got, people are just grinding, exploring. Tristal does land a stop spell on the Magi Wyvern. That's going to be a big XP pickup. Meanwhile, Janice Zeal, heading through the swamp, also finding the town of Cole, will find the disappointment 4 steps south of the Bath. And we'll probably just kind of, what? Using a key to go to the item shop. That's an interesting strategy, but, sometimes you need to get rid of a cursed belt. No, that is, question in chat. Janet's the only one in found Cole? No, Tristal found it earlier.
And I missed what's in the shop, but based on the selling activity here, I'm betting we've got Broadsword Cash.
Yeah, Zarnax has Broadsword Cash, knows the Broadsword is in Cantlin. All he has to do is get there without getting killed by this Dragon Lord, does manage to take it down, and has Healmore on tap.
Yep, and Janice just sold the Death Necklace for cash for the Broadsword.
Excuse me, I apologize. Apparently it was Janice who had originally found Cole. My apologies.
So certainly with HP this low, makes sense. You never know if there's a crazy level around the corner, but I'd probably go for this right now too.
Yeah, I mean, well, level 10 had 23 strength. That was a real shot in the arm. course, the problem is, as they're approaching levels 9 and 10 in this region, you're gonna find the balance of power is gonna switch away from Zarnax, because now you're able to reliably tackle these stronger enemies that you can run into with Erdrick's armor on. You're not as dependent on taking on smaller minions now that you've got a broadsword or a copper sword and that kind of strength. So this could be the tipping point here where we're going to start seeing Zarnax start to fall behind some of the other runners.
It's possible, but it looks like he's got about 1,000 XP lead right now. Although, yeah, once Tristal hits 10, it'll be interesting to see how that closes.
Question in chat: do werewolves have stop spell resistance? Answer: it depends. In the randomizer, everything can roll stop spell resistance up to a maximum of 12 out of 16. Although I think some of them have an innate 15 out of 16 resistance. Like, I think wizards typically have an extraordinarily high stop spell resistance.
So, two interesting developments. For Big Slammu, we saw the AK on the Spiked Tail and Hawksness, and Tristal just bought a large shield, which puts them at 64 defense, which takes the Rogue Scorpions and the Wyverns off the table.
It does, but now he's able to start taking on some of these bigger enemies. It's less of a hindrance for him.
Yup, absolutely a trade-off, but if you do find something like this werewolf that's just spamming hurt, makes sense.
Tristal making good on that stop spell for the werewolf to block that Healmore spell, taking it down. Of course, once it gets into Healmore territory, it's pretty much a free fight. Every time it tries to cast Healmore but has been blocked, it's a free shot. Ooh, preemptive attack from a Magi Wyvern with the preemptive hurt more. Does manage to get the stop spell off. This should be pretty easy for Tristal here. He's really starting to catch up with Zarnax, or he's trying to anyway, taking on some of these bigger enemies as well. This area that Tristal's in looks like it's the same encounter table roughly as what you would find around Vanilla Hawksness with the Magi Wyverns and the Demon Knights. There's probably metal slimes in there. You're just never going to see them because they're going to be repelled away.
Yep, and Zarnax and Cole, who I believe has the cash for the broadsword, so we'll probably see that pick up here.
Yep.
So it should swing things back in his favor a little bit. So we've Tristal still walking around with the copper sword, but just picked up that 23 strength with level 10.
Whoa, what happened to Janus's stream? Okay, technical difficulties. He's still running. We'll see if we can't get his stream back. If not, he's still running and is potentially in the match. It's being recorded on their end, so no major worries if we can't... there we go. It is back. Zarnax, meanwhile, taking his time on these knights, which are very good mid-tier enemies to take on at this stage in the game. with his 72 strength and a broadsword for an extra plus 20. He's taking these things on pretty easily and is getting a consistent grind going as well.
Yeah, 92 attack power, that should be an advantage here for a little while. So this is where he's really got to open up that window, knowing he's got to go beyond what the other racers will.
Absolutely, because once the other racers start hitting level 10 and start getting that big strength at level 10, that's when his advantage is going to start fading fast. And you better believe he knows this. So right now he's going into tablet and he's going to check this chat, see if there's anything worthwhile down here.
Yep, still looking for stones. Big stick would be nice.
It is an herb.
Well, just gotta find the spices and the red dragon and you can have a nice dinner.
Roasted with our secret blend of 16 herbs and spices. Slow roasted over an open flame breath.
I prefer cooked DL1 as opposed to DL2. I find the DL2 is a little too quick.
But you see, I'm used to Cajun cooking, so I'm used to blackened.
Yeah, Tristle's just locked in on that grind right there. Oh, Zarnax just took a death in the corner of the world there.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Star Wyvern would not let him go and sent him back home. You see, Mega Link, I understand that reference, but I'm not going to repeat it for politeness' sake. Meanwhile, Tristal has hit level 10. He has 68 strength and 78 AP, so he's still got a copper sword on. He's got about $600 to his name, so he's getting kind of close to broad. He's at least got axe money if he could find one, but it won't take him long before he gets broadsword money, and once he does, he's gonna really start being able to take off. Meanwhile, Janice is in Grave and is going to be diving to the bottom of Grave. Unfortunately, there's nothing down there, but Janice doesn't know this yet.
Importantly, though, up to level 8 and not too terribly behind Slamu at this point.
Yeah, a couple of good encounters, and that could change quite rapidly. Yeah, Janice realizing there's nothing down there, bails, and is on the hunt for the stones. He's pulling a Thanos on the hunt for the stones.
Yep, question in chat from Trails, is this a 4-way race or 2 one-on-ones? This is a 4-way race with the top 2 advancing to the semifinals. The other interesting wrinkle here is, unless I'm missing a chest in my head, which is entirely possible, those coordinates, I believe, there's a good chance those are stones at this point, are they not? And those appear to be fairly ugly.
Either that or Hawksness. Because they haven't checked the Hawksness spike tile yet.
Very true, and we do still have the sword out there. That's correct.
And since we found Harp and Death Necklace, one of those two places must be the sword, the other must be the stones, because we found 2 cursed belts. Yeah, the sword and the stone. Wait a minute. Wasn't there a movie about that?
Is that the one where the dude dressed in green just kind of goes around, kills some stuff, and then pulls it out, pulls the stone out, or pulls the stone out of the sword, pulls the sword out of the stone? I think that's a different randomizer.
Yeah, that may be a different randomizer. I think that one was something about, like, medallions or necklaces or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's MacGuffins.
Oh, meanwhile, I missed this. Zarnax on level 12 appears to have hurt more.
Yep, and is grinding on the spike tile in Swamp Cave, which is a green dragon. Important note, you will never repel the spike tiles, so even if you get a high enough defense to defense break whatever is on that spike tile, which, to be fair, is not very easily done, but theoretically possible, you're still going to be able to grind on those spike tiles. And this green dragon, other than the fact that it's got heal more, unfortunately, is a pretty good option for a grind.
Yeah, you'll certainly take it. The AK, it 6 to 1, half dozen of the other probably, and that's in Hawksness. But looks like we're seeing a Princess Rescue anyway, so it makes sense to use most of the MP here.
Well, you
grab
got
your Princess,
MP.
get back.
Yeah, he's got 14 MP, which is exactly enough for an outside and a return, at least in the vanilla game, because it was 8 and 6 respectively. Oh, right. The Mana Stone was also stuck in a stone for a while. Good call there. That would be from the Secret of Mana series.
So Tristle's about 480 away from 12 and his hurt more, which at that point will pretty much eliminate any advantage Zarnax has.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is where we're gonna start seeing Tristal especially take off, but Big Slamu is at level 9. He's only got one more level until he gets that big strength boost, and he's gonna start taking off as well. Things are gonna start heating up here in a bit, folks. Here we go. Big Trouble in Little Charlotte. There we go. That was the movie, clearly. Meanwhile, the Big Slamu actually finds Staff Cave, and by this point, you don't need to play the harp to get encounters anymore, and happily makes the trade. Oh! Tristal MTG with the 1 in 256 critical dodge.
I should have bet on that too.
Yeah, the Demon Knights are infamous for being able to dodge, but there's only a 1 in 256 chance of being able to dodge a critical hit, and that Demon Knight just did it. Big
Looks like
Slamu's searching for coordinates. He's at 5122. He needs to get to 79.7. That definitely sounds like second continent coordinates, or at least a lot further south. Oh, okay, it opened up down here. He may actually get there.
yeah, and if this is sword, that's a game changer.
Well, either way, it's going to be game changer. Either it's access to Charlock, because it's a third key item they need, and they already know back of Garenham is where the jerk is, or it's the sword, which again, big boost in damage output.
Yeah, well, only at level 9, I think he's got to get to what 3,000 EXP to get the to get hurt more. So this would certainly help that process.
Yep, he's trying to count it out here. 72.7. He needs to go further south. It is in fact on that second continent. Well, there's a bunch of bridges. Someone in chat mentioned build a raft and go across that channel. Yeah, no, wrong randomizer.
Looks like Slamu may be thinking about checking that spike tile if he can get there.
If he can get there, this wizard is certainly giving him some trouble, though.
And meanwhile, Trista looks to be just one fight from that level 12.
And Zarnak, since he does not in fact have Erdrick's armor and will never get Erdrick's armor, does decide to pick up some half-plate, I think that was. Oh, yes. For those new into the thing, the Erdrick's armor was in the actual throne room in one of the first 3 chests. But there's permanent repel, so they were having problems trying to find encounters that they could actually take on. So Zarnax actually hard reset and gave up the armor. And because it was in the throne room, you never see those chests again, even if you never open them. You will never have access to those chests again. So his whole gamble is that he could get up high enough, soon enough, to be able to afford to grind a few extra levels and be able to take on the Dragon Lord anyway. So this is a big gamble on his part. We'll see how it pays off.
Yeah, but Big Slamu used all the heal mores he had in the tank, grinding up to level 10, which made sense because he needed the attack power, but didn't have enough left to take off that Axe Knight.
Which is a shame. However, knowing that it is an Axe Knight on that spike tile, once they get hurt more at 11, I would definitely be grinding on that thing. Yeah, Tristal needs to go check out Hawksnest's trap tile. Although these green dragons are doing well for him. He is grinding on these green dragons. Unfortunately, they do have heal more, which is a little annoying.
Interesting stats on the Green Dragon: 50% female, or 50% heal more, 50% fire.
Yeah, but Fire 1 is actually less dangerous, honestly, than the Teeth.
Yeah, for sure. The heal more is the more annoying one.
Question in chat, why did you lock your daughter in the basement? You're a bad king. Actually, it was the Dragon Lord who kidnapped her and put her there. So, you kidnapped the princess and put them in the father's basement. Kinky.
Yeah, you can tell the king's hard of hearing in this scene, because you'd think he would have heard something by now.
Now Tristal has rescued the princess, who will share her undying love and give him the Gwendolyn positioning system, the GPS. Meanwhile, Big Slamu at level 10 now, going after this Axnite Spike tile, and will have a much better time of it, since he had pretty much a clear run straight to it.
Yeah, with plenty of MP in the tank, this should be a given.
Yeah, and now he's level 10, so he's got the strength. And the sword is in Hawksness, which means the coordinates are going to be the stones. Buckle in, folks. This could take a while.
Yeah, this opens up a really nice grind right here.
Absolutely. Question in chat, have we seen the Fun Police yet? No, because of the flag set strat, we will not see Fun Police before we hit Charlock. In fact, we won't see them until the bottom 2 levels of Charlock. Because the mob groups are not randomized in this seed. Question in chat, what is better, Green Dragon grind or Axnite grind? In this case, I would say the Axnite is the better grind, because A, the Green Dragon has heal more, which is annoying and extends things, and B, an Axnite is potentially one-shottable with hurt more. Oh, yeah, as it was pointed out in chat, these spike tiles are vanilla.
Oh, yeah, I guess this shouldn't have been a surprise.
I guess that means we're gonna see the golem right there in front of the Dragon Lord.
Well, luckily everyone was also gifted the fairy flute right in the throne room as well.
Yeah, but you're not going to be seeing any golems except in that one tile, ever, anywhere. Which is nothing but good news for the runners.
And Tristal has closed the experience lead on Zarnax at just 250, 300 points.
Yeah, he's grinding on these green dragons, and it has been a very, very good grind for him. Both green dragons and axe knights are worth the same 130 experience points. Well, no, excuse me, green dragons are 135, so a little bit more. But more importantly, Tristal is here at the green dragons, and it's in the basement of Tantagel Castle, so it's a much shorter iteration time. So that also factors in. Janus now hitting level 10. That's going to also help him out. Zarnax's lead is starting to fade, unfortunately. We're getting into the portion of the game where not having that Erdrick's armor is going to start punishing him more and more. And of course, Seed validated. The Sparko Bridge tile was searched. For those of you who aren't aware, Sparkover is a runner in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community. And the meme is that one of these days, the search spot will be on a one tile on the other side of a bridge, preferably a swamp tile. And that will be where it is, and that way you don't have to go get the coordinates from Caitlin or talk to Gwendolyn. You just go there and you find it. And one day it will be true. Given an arbitrary number of seed rolls, one of them will eventually do it. We haven't seen it yet in a tournament. Who knows? And yes, for those just now showing up, the armor was in the throne room, and Zarnax actually restarted the seed to avoid getting it so that he could take on the lower level enemies, because we do have permanent repel. Oh, we found... Okay, Janus just found Erdrick's token. So that was the second key item he needed. And unfortunately, the problem here is the hit points really aren't panning out for Zarnax. He was probably hoping he could get some big HP numbers and would be able to just eat the Dragon Lord breath at the full amount instead of at the reduced amount. But it really hasn't been panning out for him in this seed.
Yeah, he's got to be hoping for a couple of really big HP levels at this point.
And given that Gwendolyn's love is pretty much required, because the counting is not going to happen without it, at least I wouldn't be able to. But then again, they don't call me Sneaky the Lost for nothing. But yeah, since the coordinates in the overworld is where the Stones of Sunlight have to be, boy, this is going to be interesting. He is still maintaining his lead so far. He did hit 14.
And now Slamu hits 12 and gets that hurt more.
And now this Axe Knight grind is going to go even faster. Except not really, because he's out of mana.
Yeah, interestingly, I don't think any of the other runners have given an attempt at the Hawksta spike tile yet. With hurt more, it's less important for the grind, so I guess you do your grind and find the sword later, or the stones. They don't, you're not knowing which is which yet.
Yeah, and as is pointed out in chat, the exact amount of HP MP you need can vary. You know, having more is obviously better, but usually you're going to need a minimum of 97 if you want to be able to guarantee that you can swing between heal mores. Otherwise, you risk getting double heal more turns because he hits you with the DL2 breath. But because Zarnax does not have the armor, he will need 145 to achieve that feat. And of course, if everybody gets 145 hit points, well, that's a no-brainer for a Death Necklace strat, so they just have more attack power. Crystal finally finding the mythical town of Cole, and there found nothing. Does go ahead and pick up a broadsword. That's a good pickup. Big Slamu entering in Garenham and picks up a large shield. Now that he's got Hurt more on tap, now that he's got the strength to be able to take on higher tier enemies, it's a smart move. You know, interesting thing about permanent repel, and when you're trying to do your dive, if your defense is high enough and you start defense breaking werewolves and star wyverns and wizards, and that makes your run that much faster. So depending on what people's defenses are in Charlock, you could easily see some people making a dive and not seeing anything until close to the bottom levels. I mean, Tristal already has, orange level defense. I think it was a 71 or so at level 14. By the time he gets ghost stats, his agility may be high enough that he might start being able to repel some of those weaker Charlock enemies. At which point, he just walks down, takes out the golem, and takes out the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, I think it really starts happening. I think the Wizard's the lowest one at 80, and then it works its way up to like the Green Dragons. Yeah, 88. And I think the VX Knight's, what, the mid 90s, somewhere in there.
Wizards are in there too somewhere.
Yeah, I think they're the first one to go.
Yeah. So if they can pick up, say, 85 defense, 88 defense, start defense breaking some of those higher level, or the upper level enemies, they could just have a free walk all the way down to close to the bottom.
Yeah, with maybe just the occasional blue dragon sprinkled in every here and there, but probably not too often.
Yeah, it's not going to be until the bottom couple of levels that he's going to start running into reds and armored knights that he's not going to be able to repel away. Tristal now has Erdrick's sword, the biggest weapon in the entire game, and that's going to bring his attack power up to some really nice levels. That hit points is not deal viable, unfortunately, but everything else is, just about. Of course, Tristal still doesn't have the token or the stones, so he still has laundry list to do, even if he gets deal viable stats. But right now is kind of in a commanding position here.
Yeah, and the further he takes this grind, the less overworld or other encounters he'll have.
Absolutely, and remember, Repel works in dungeons, so that includes dungeons. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those situations where, when in doubt, grind it out. Because, honestly, there's no reason not to.
Big Slamu just picked up the stones, so only one little piece of homework left on that side, other than a lot of grinding.
Yep, and the jerk is in... I thought the jerk was in Tantagel Basement. No, it's back of Garenham. My apologies. Which is near Tantagel Castle.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Janice now rescuing the princess. Let's see if he can keep her this time. There's some hit points that Zarnax was hoping for. Hit points of 115 now at level 15.
And already a ton of MP in the tank, so one or two more big HP levels, and all of a sudden maybe it's viable.
Gonna want a little bit better armor, though, unfortunately. Half plate and a large shield is really not gonna cut it for Charlock.
Definitely not.
Unfortunately, they don't have a gold grind available to them, so that's off the table. Silver Shield is probably not going to be viable, but I would definitely, if I were him, I would definitely pick up some magic armor. It would be worth the extra. Normally, I personally, when I run, I almost always skip the magic armor in favor of just getting full plate and then getting Airdrix, but in his case, knowing that Airdrix is completely off the table, that extra hit point every 4 steps is actually going to kind of help him sustain in his dive for Charlock, especially since he will likely not be repelling anything unlike his competitors. Question in chat, how did Zarnax level up so fast? Metal Slimes? No! It is a permanent repel seed, and the Airdrix armor was in the throne room. Zarnax actually hit the reset button and decided to avoid Airdrix armor, giving up his only chance of obtaining it to be able to do an early grind sooner.
Yeah, there was, for Zarnax only, tons of feasting on wolves and warlocks early that no one else was able to take that fight.
Yeah, because with Airdrix armor, they were just repelling those enemies, unfortunately. However, Janice did get the idea of using the harp to force encounters. Yeah, Tristal is looking at his stats and going, okay, these are absolutely go stats. Now I need to get my laundry list of stuff to do done, and time to do this. So Tristal is very, very close to where he needs to be. If he can find the token, which is in the next to last chest in Mountain Cave, and the stones, which are on the overworld coordinates, which he's got Gwendolyn rescued for, he'll be in a really good position. Meanwhile, Big Slamu got the Rainbow Drop, which is a big pickup. He is the first person with the Rainbow Drop. Now all he needs to do is grind and go. So this is still a close race. Zarnax at level 15, Tristal also at level 15. Big Slemu is only at 13, but he's got his laundry list done. He doesn't need to start diving random caves to try and find his laundry list of stuff to do. So, it's close. It's very close. And now Big Slemu wandering in here, taking on this spike tile, which we know is an Axe Knight, which is a really great grind tile, and also has the sword already. He's been here before. Now he just needs to grind and go. It's not going to take him long to catch up at all.
Yeah, I think to 15 we're looking at somewhere around, 20 to 25 of these Axe Knights.
Yeah, you need, 16,000? Or 16,000 to be able to... Well, that's level 17, excuse me.
Yeah, I think we're looking 75?
Yeah, 75, 8,000, somewhere in that neighborhood.
So yeah, it's an interesting race with the Big Slamu grind versus the Tristal treasure hunt.
Well, Tristal is in Mountain Cave, which is where the token is, and he's heading right for it now, so this won't take Tristal very long. And there's Airdrix's token. Tristal now has the token. He just needs to go find the stones on the overworld, and that's gonna be go mode. Zarnax, meanwhile, doing some more grinding on this Axe Knight in Hawksness. I can't blame him. On 115 hit points, he has a really big risk of getting DL2 breath twice in a row and having to heal more twice in a row to avoid that, because he doesn't have the armor. So, yeah. Question in chat, is Fairy Flute in the seed? Fairy Flute was also in the throne room. They all have it. Overworld is absolutely has to be the stones because they had 2 belts, and it's the only place we haven't searched yet in the entire overworld. And since stones can't be in Charlock because that would be a soft lock, it's got to be there. And yeah, we've already got 2 people that have picked them up to confirm it. No, I don't think Fighter's Ring can be on a search spot. But it can be down in Charlock, which I believe is where it is located in Vanilla. Question in chat, why didn't Tristle exit once he got token? I honestly don't know. He hasn't been in there before. He wanted to make sure that that final chest wasn't the stones.
Yeah, an hour 27 in, that's something that, although we know it absolutely can't be because we've got coordinates and all the other items are found at this point.
Oh,
that's something I would forget.
Valid point. He knew the search spot existed. Who knows? When you're sitting looking at the timer at about an hour and a half into a match, you're already stressed out because you're going, okay, who's going to go done anytime now? Because I'm pretty close to this, and I know I've made some issues, I made some mistakes, so how much further along are people? How close are they to actually winning? It's a really stressful situation. We can sit here, in our armchairs, look at it objectively and go, there's no way that could have actually been the stone. But when you're in the hot seat, that stuff can slip your mind and just check it to make sure.
Yeah, unfortunately for Zarnax, level 16 was a zonk for hit points. Nice MP, but that's not what he's looking for.
No, that is almost the opposite of what he's looking for here. I mean, don't get me wrong, the extra 2 heal mores in the tank doesn't hurt at all, but he needs about another 30 hit points. Big Slemu, meanwhile, getting actually killed by this Axe Knight. Ouch. That's going to slow him down.
He was out of resources, so I think that
was okay, Death Warp then. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Tristle fell victim to a very common issue. When you get the coordinates from the guy, in Cantlin, it is how far is it from the castle? But when Gwendolyn gives you the coordinates, when you use the Gwendolyn's love, it's where is the castle in relation to you? And so the north, south, and the east, west are flipped, and it is very easy to get that backwards if you're not careful.
Yeah, I gotta imagine most runners, even the more veteran runners, have flipped those at one point or another. Especially an hour 30 in.
Yeah, absolutely, especially given how close. But he did get it. He's got the rainbow drop. He's got the stats. Tristle is in the driver's seat now. If he can get a refresh real quick, and there's a city right there to heal up in. Okay. Yep, it's so he's gonna heal here, come right around the corner. He's going to make his dive, and he's actually got a good chance of doing this. He's not going to be repelling anything away, unfortunately. He's just a couple of defense points shy of repelling anything away, but he still has everything he needs for a consistent dive. One bad encounter can still swing this. Charlock is the great equalizer, so it's not a done deal yet, but you know, he's got a lead at the moment.
Yeah, one thing I would note is how close Sharlock was to Rimmeldar. So if this thing goes sideways, halfway down or something, where a blue dragon doesn't let you go, or you burn through too many Healmores, you can always outside go heal quick and return back without making it a huge hassle.
Yeah, it's still a time loss, but less of a time loss than dying and having to make the trek back.
Meanwhile, Big Slamoo's just one Axite away from 15 here.
Crystal only has a couple of herbs left. If DL1 is not nice to him, this could be a rough start on his DL fight, but he's got enough heal more than a tank. He should be able to take it regardless. But yeah, encounter rate and run rate is the big, as we say in the community, char luck.
And if I'm doing math poorly, I think he needs somewhere in the 12 to 13 swing range. So there's a couple Healmores that can be burned along the way if absolutely necessary.
Some comments in chat, but I am not going to repeat them for fear of commentator's curse.
Yeah, but Zarnak's closing on 17, I believe, which is what, 12,000?
One other thing to consider about a dive without the armor is those barrier tiles on the top floor. When you have Edric's armor, not a problem. When you don't, ooh, that's going to be a problem. That's like, what, 2 Healmores burned right there on top floor.
Yep, and only 7 HP at 17 for Zarnak, so likely back to the grind.
Meanwhile, Big Slamoo hit 15, got his rainbow drop, and is on his way down. Oh, there's an armored knight. The good old, as we call him in the community, the AK-47, due to how hard he hits. He's also being very obnoxious about blocking escape. Having to blow a Healmore here, still not the worst. He's still got more than enough Healmores than a tank so far. But, yeah. It's only gonna go... Oh, there's the fun police. The first Red Dragon sighting, he runs away at the first opportunity. So... there's a Stone Man. I'm surprised those aren't getting repelled. Burning another herb instead of a Healmore, trying to get around. He's on the bottom floor. This is the most dangerous floor because it's got the red dragons, it's got the armored knights, it's got the blue dragons. You know, so they're around, and that's got to be the golem sitting in front of him. And it is the golem, and we haven't seen one yet. Fortunately, he does have the fairy's flute.
Yeah, this should be a fairly simple fight, and I'll jinx it now.
You could even say it would be a very simple fight.
But be sure to tip the waitstaff, everybody.
I take requests, but I keep talking anyway. Yeah, this is a pretty free Dragon Lord fight. Barring Abyss menu, Tristal's got this in the bag.
Yeah, back attack here shouldn't really matter too much.
Yeah, I mean, it is an extra heal more, but he has a couple of heal mores extra than what he needs. It's not a major imposition. It's just the final insult to injury.
Meanwhile, Slamu is choosing to slice his way through a red dragon.
Yeah, as you do. Zarnax, meanwhile, finding the town of Breckenary, home of the 6 Gold Inn. We'll leave a torch on for you. Picking up some full plate. A very valuable pickup for him since he didn't have it. I don't... full plate instead of magic armor, I question that choice as well, but unfortunately, that was the choice that he made. Probably force of habit.
Perhaps trying to hold on for silver? He's got a lot of grinding to do, it looks like.
I mean, if he wanted silver, I would have just not bought anything and stayed at half plate, personally. Now he's going to go for the painful walk here, since he doesn't have the armor, to get the coordinates, which he knows are going to be needed here.
And that does it for Tristal.
Break out your GGs, Tristal has come in first. And Big Slamu rounding the corner. Still has 104 MP in the tank. He's had to burn a couple of extra heal mores, unfortunately. And that is unfortunate. He's starting to get into a little bit of a problem, but he still has 11 heal mores in the tank. 12, I think, actually. So he's still okay. Yeah, he's got 12 heal mores in the tank. He should still be good. And Zarnax just got Erdrick's token, the final item he needed. So he is going to probably immediately nope out of here.
Yeah, what's interesting, going back to the early game, is that he's got 5,500 more experience than anyone else had. Again, not knowing how the levels are going to play out and what HP is going to look like, you know, it's the roll of the dice.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a gamble. It's one that's actually been talked about in the community before whenever the idea of permanent repel comes up. But it was a fascinating breakdown of how it actually turned out in this race. When I saw that armor there, we knew we were in for a doozy here. And remember, only the first 2 victors will be progressing to the semis.
Yeah, don't have the count on Slamu, but I would assume just like Tristal's fight, this should be fairly free.
And Crystal actually raiding. Welcome, raiders.
Gosh, Mike noting that Slamu started with 2 less heal more, so this might be a little less for me. But I think Tristal finished with 3 in the tank.
Yeah, he's still got this. And welcome, Tristal. GG. Thoughts?
Yeah, wow, I certainly have thoughts. I am dying to watch the video of this, because, man, I feel like I gave up like 15 minutes in the beginning of this seed because I'm a dum-dum and failed to play the silver harp. But, yeah, wow, crazy.
Yeah, that's always one of those memes you talk about but have never really seen is Erdrick's armor in the armory on a permanent repel seed.
Yeah, actually, I don't think this is even the first tournament game where that's happened to me. And I want to say the silver harp was a factor in that one, so I really just have no excuse. But, yeah, wow.
Now, one of the runners actually got the big brain idea of using the harp to guarantee encounters to bypass that problem.
Yeah, as I mentioned, yeah, I feel like a big dum-dum. As soon as I turned it in, I'm like, I wonder if I could have activated this harp. And then I was like, looking at the timer, I'm like, 15 minutes in already. I'm just like, whatever, we have a plan.
One of the runners has actually... Oh, break out your GGs! Big Slamu has come in second place and will also be progressing to the semis. But yeah, one of our runners actually hit the reset button and dodged the armor.
Yeah, that was definitely a thought in my brain too, but it's so much of a grind to overcome not having Erdrick's armor. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, because you get the 2 heal mores from the barrier tiles on the top floor. Then, of course, you need, 140-something hit points just to not have to heal more.
I mean, I don't think I've even tried it once. It's so brutal.
Well, one of our runners did try it. Unfortunately, that runner is still grinding. And welcome, Big Slamu. GG, you will be progressing to the semifinals. Thoughts on the seed?
I should have requested the reseed when I started. I might have been the only one that didn't.
That is possible.
I saw the armor and I looked at her agility and I knew we were done for. And I'm like, oh, we can still get wolves. We got the wolf, and then the smallest thing left was a wolf lord, and that was a slog.
Yeah, it looked like the one saving element you had was the key and the single fairy water in the treasury that you're able to sort of
and the harp.
Oh, correct, and the harp.
Now the thing is, one of the runners got the big idea of using the harp to guarantee encounters, bypassing the problem with repel.
Yeah, I knew it topped out at 4 experience, so I figured it's not worth it.
Well, they got it at level 1.
I think I got it at level 1 too, because it was top of grave, right?
No, it was in armory.
Oh, so you had to go to the top of the grave to get the first key, and then come back to the armory and get the harp.
Well, Rimildar was also available.
True.
Yeah, the key was, you had to buy keys in Rimildar. I don't think there was a key in the top of the grave. It was just gold, so that you could buy keys, so that you could get into the treasury, so that you could play the silver harp and get 4 experience. Which honestly probably still would have been better than what we did.
Yeah, see, I got a couple of fairy wires and hit that wolf outside of Sharlock, and then...
Oh no, Zarnox is getting blocked by the NPC. The guard was stuck in the one-tile hallway to the back end of Tandagel Castle to turn in everything for the rainbow drop.
If only he were wearing, like, the garlic hat or something, he could just charge them out of the way, but...
Because he's gonna need to rescue that princess to be able. Well, he's rescued the princess. He just needs to get to the Stones of Sunlight. So about those coordinates.
Yeah, we're not talking about that, Sneaky.
Yeah,
enough.
I also don't want to talk about those coordinates.
Fair enough. Moving
well,
on.
I did preemptively rescue the princess just because I figured, hey, maybe this is a thing I should do. But yeah, one thing I do want to talk about. Did anybody notice the red slime I killed?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't know how you managed to encounter that. I did see that and remarked on it, in fact.
I'm completely baffled. Like, I thought at first I had, like, discovered some weird glitch where because I reset and reclaimed the armor, something weird happens with permanent repel. So I fought the one, and I'm like, okay, I guess this solves my problem, and then wandered around in the mountains some more, and then didn't find anything else the rest of the seed that wasn't supposed to be repelled. So, too experienced didn't do me a whole lot of good, unfortunately.
Was that your first ever encounter?
Yes, it was.
Oh, that's why. So repel, or your agility only updates when you check your stats menu or you enter into a combat. So you don't have your new agility until you enter.
That's neat.
So kind of similar to the Death Necklace strats.
Yeah. Okay, wow, that's weird. Okay, well, all right, that solves that mystery then. Thank you.
Yeah,
I was hoping I didn't want to have to get McGrew on the case and figure out what the heck happened.
So, yeah, also apologies for the noise in the background on the restreams. I had a really bad supercell blow through, and I had some pretty good-sized, fist-sized hail slamming into my window. So that was apparently clearly audible. That was just before the power went out and knocked me off for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Yikes, well, I hope everything ends up okay after all that.
Yeah, we're fine now, but the tornado warning sirens did go off, so we did a bit of duck and covering preemptively, but we're fine here. Everything is okay.
That's good to hear.
I just tuned in. Is Zarnax doing this thing without the armor?
What happened was Zarnax got the armor, was like, nah. He tried to go and realized he wasn't going to find anything that he could reasonably take on and went, nah, fam, I'm hitting the reset button and we're going to bail on the armor.
Wow, that's going to take 150 MP handy.
Which is why he's level 18.
I say he's almost there. Jeez.
I think he's got more defense power without the armor than I did.
Yeah, I didn't check my final DP. I knew it was probably in the 74, 75 range.
Yep, it was exactly 74 for you. Zarnax is already at 77.
Yeah, I did get hit by the Dragon Lord for 49 one time, but luckily, because the max HP was 115, like, it staggered enough that was never really going to be an issue.
Yeah.
I thought that 13 Healmores was going to be massive overkill on the Dragon Lord. And I didn't see anything above an 11 until 2/3 of the way through the fight.
Yeah, you had some pretty bad luck there.
I balanced out your luck. My Dragon Lord fight was insane. I had 2 Healmores in the tank after the fight. I didn't see anything below a 12, except one time I got a 9. That was it.
Yeah, I think I was 16 swings to win, which is insanity on 134 AP.
That's too many.
I didn't want to dive again, that's for sure. But yeah, Sneaky, when it comes to counting the coordinates, my brain was a million other places, and I used up most of the mental energy I had left for figuring out how to get out of the mess that the armor put us in. So east and west got a little mixed up there. You saw me, probably 10 minutes of just aimless walking.
We've all done it, man. They don't call me Sneaky the Lost for nothing. I've done that many times.
Yeah, feel free to watch the VOD. I also, not 10 minutes, but I was mystified between West and East. I'm like, huh? Isn't it right here? Oh, wait, I know how this works. I've played this game once or twice before, right? And then still couldn't get it when I finally made it to the other side.
It didn't help that there was land where 10 West would have been. It just was an island, and I couldn't figure out how to get to the island. I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense. And then I realized
I'm
West and
I'm
West
just
is-
thankful I preemptively saved the princess, because I would have kind of assumed that the spot were sort of near Cantlin, but it really was nowhere near Cantlin at all. But as soon as I got the coordinates, I was able to use Wayland's Love and figure out it basically had to be on the second continent, which I had already fully explored. So
Yeah, I went straight down as soon as I got the princess. I'm like, okay, this is second continent. I went straight over there, walked to the western edge, and said, oh wait, no, it's over there on that little island, and went to try to find the island, and came back and forth, but we did it.
you got there.
I mean, honestly, I think we all thought about it, but giving up on this one and starting over, but the schadenfreude that I'm sure the fans saw through this race, I just couldn't say no to.
I have no doubt that the chat got a wonderful beginning of the race out of this, because wow, it's just super interesting, especially when three of us forget to use the silver harp.
I knew it was there.
Two forgets to use the silver harp. Zarnax actually skips the armor entirely, which did mean he had a substantial experience lead for pretty much the entire match. Because he was able to consistently take on wolves and trolls and warlocks and stuff, and was grinding on those things pretty consistently.
Yeah, without the armor, I think I hang out in the grave for probably 30 minutes, starting in the top floor and working my way down. But with the armor, the grave was almost, except for the third floor, was all out of the question by level, what was that, 4?
Yeah.
Dritzel, did you first kill a wolf then, I'm guessing? Or something
No,
similar?
actually, I don't think I saw a regular wolf the entire seed. I first killed metal scorpions.
In the grave?
No, there was a desert a little bit east of Garenham that was sort of home base for a while. That was metal scorpions and wolf lords, and as soon as I leveled it once or twice, metal scorpions were out of the picture, and then it was wolf lords, because we had sleep, so you could throw a bunch of fairy water at a wolf lord enough times and kill it. And then once we hit level 6, we had enough power to just go the rest of the way, sleep wolf lords, and do it that way.
Yeah, I did 42 to a Droll Magi in the bottom of the grave, and then he cast Heal More on me.
Ouch.
Oh, by the way, one of the dangers of using the harp strat is Drakeys had DL2 breath.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, though, because the recovery time on using the harp really isn't that bad, given that you can use it anywhere. So, honestly, I think that still would have been a lot faster than what I ended up doing, but I don't know. Interesting, anyway.
Yeah, I think harping from 40 to 82 would have been smart. It took me forever to find a wraith to get me to. I went straight from 40 to 82. I killed 2 enemies and got to level 5. I was looking for the Magic Wyvern and go straight to 6, just on perfect XP numbers.
And it looks like Janice is now in the second phase of the Dragon Lord fight, actually using the fairy water to add insult to injury.
Yeah,
Zarnax has just
about the same as
entered.
attacking.
Yeah, Zarnax has just entered. Now, Zarnax is now level 19. Only 145 hit points. So he has just barely enough to be able to survive 2 maximum DL2 breaths without the armor. He's got, 145 magic points. He's only got 130 something hit points. So he can still end up having to go back to backs But the other thing is his attack power is 145.
That's it? He's got 3 more levels. 4 more levels than us, and he only got 11 more AP? Jeez, this game is rough.
Yeah, some of those were definitely MTI favorite levels. There was one level that was 0070. See, 134 hit points, 145 MP, and attack points. I mean, he's got a lot of extra heal mores in the tank, so he should be able to do it, even though he had to burn a couple on top floor. He's still at 137 MP right now. If he can carry that into the fight, he may be okay. Depends on RNG.
So 10 swings, right? So if he's got the opener and the closer, then he needs 6 non-breath attacks, and he's got it. But knowing this seed, he probably has no chance, because that's what the seed is.
And this seed was incredibly trolly. I will definitely agree with you there. And Janice is about to close this fight out here. One way or the other. He's only got 16 MP left. I mean, Zarnax does have 85 agility, but only has full plate. And break out your GGs! Janice Zill has come in 3rd place. While his journey has come to an end, it was a very respectable fight indeed.
Oh, and Zarnax just took a death on the walk-in.
Yeah, Armored Knight wouldn't let him go, unfortunately, and
I said that was the one nice saving grace.
is he just gonna forfeit here? Nope, looks like he's continuing on. Okay.
Yeah, the one saving grace of the seed was the fact that both of the red enemies in Jarlock only had swing, I think.
Comment in chat, wow, I'm actually a 50% chance to run away from them, but this is Armored Knights we're talking about. They apparently have decided to use the XCOM RNG engine for determining run chances. Oh, and an unpleasant surprise. Red dragons have a heal spell. That makes it a little bit more difficult to try and punch through one if you ever felt like doing that.
Oh, I think I got 2 of them down and I didn't see it, so I got a little lucky there.
Janus will not be joining us in the commentator's booth. Yeah, at first I thought that said heal ward, I'm like, wow, that's really bad, but no, it's just a heal, so you can power through that, at least with 145 attack power. And making his way down fairly cleanly so far. The only heal mores were on the top floor. So he still has, you know, he's still got 135 NP he's carrying down. Looks good so far. drops a regular heal on himself to top himself off. Since he doesn't have magic armor or Erdrick's armor, there is no hero walking and there is no sustain here, so that is something to take into consideration. Meanwhile, we're gonna blow up his window just so we can really get a good look at this. Armored Knight, blocked. There's a second run. Yes, enhance!
Yeah, normally it's the police saying zoom enhance, but I guess in this case it's us.
So I didn't look at it. Are we Angel DK or are we on the other side of the bracket for next week?
I don't know if that has been decided yet.
Yeah, we're with Angel and DK.
Oh, perfect.
It's no problem. We got this. Group B for life.
I mean, I think.
Oh yeah, it is determined A and B, and then C and D. So yes.
I think we played the hardest seed of the week so far, and I can safely say that only 2 seeds in. So.
I would be surprised if anybody managed a harder seed than y'all did. But it gave you a chance to really flex your skills in the game and your knowledge of the game mechanics. Because it's when you get a challenging seed like this that you really get a chance to show why you are one of the top runners of the randomizer, you know? I mean, you get to show your flexibility, your adaptability. When the seed throws something at you, how do you respond? Oh, one other problem! He's not immune to stop spell. If the Dragon Lord lands that stop spell, he's up an unsanitary tributary.
You have an interesting question because I've never seen this. Does that carry to the DL2 fight? Or does it?
Yes, it does. No,
Oh.
it carries over. If they do, that's it. No, it doesn't? Okay, it apparently does not.
That's got to be a
That's
separate
how the
fight
death
because it
necklace
rechecks when you equip the death necklace.
Ah, true. Okay. Because I was about to say, whoa, Dolly, that would not have been nice.
I never bothered finding tablet. Did that have? That didn't have the ring, did it?
No, it didn't. I found it. I found tablet anyway. The ring had to have been.
Ooh, triple hit. Dragon Lord has been very kind with giving him physical attacks, but there's the Dragon Lord breath for 72.
Yeah, he got a great opener. That should be good for him.
It's not over till it's over. If he gets a bad string of DL2 breaths, he could still end up burning too many heal mores. But we'll see. Yeah, Zarnax is getting exactly what he was hoping to get from this Dragon Lord. A bunch of physical attacks.
Yeah, this is actually going impressively well. There it is.
There it is. Break out your GG. Zarnax has defeated the Dragon Lord. And there's Princess Gwendolyn joining. Is that Wario? But this was an amazingly well-run race by all runners. I mean, all four of you really pulled out pulled everything out and really got a chance to strut your stuff here and show why you are in the playoffs to begin with. All four of you did an amazing job on the seed. And GG Zarnax. You made an interesting decision at the beginning here. It unfortunately didn't pay off, but we were wondering if it would or not.
Yeah, man, so was I. I mean, I actually really think it may have if our strength hadn't grown so fast.
Yeah, level 10, level 11 was where all of the strength was at. If that strength boost had been like 16, 17, then yeah, your gamble would have probably paid off. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that way for you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was dreading an Erdrick's armor start because I knew I was going to make that gamble, and it's just so. I mean, it's really interesting to see exactly how different it is with and without. Like the start is a completely different game, and then obviously you need to grind way more. So if you can save enough time in the early game before you knowing that Hawksness is a spike tile or is an Axe Knight, makes it a lot more of an attractive option to make that gamble because you can make up those levels really fast once you've got hurt more. So yeah, it was just the entire time I was trying to figure out how it was going to play out for anyone who didn't get rid of the armor, and I was feeling really, really good until I think it was Garen's grave, which was just to the west of Shylock, and I think it had a torch in it. And once I found that, I knew that it was possible to get a faster start with Erdrick's armor than it would have been without anything like that.
Well, one of our runners actually did a different strat. Remember how the harp was available very early because it required a key from Remildar? Remember what the silver harp does?
Yeah. Very, very, very smart.
Very, very smart. Of course, Drakey's had DL2 breath.
Yeah, and even getting the gold to get a key with the repel from the armor is no small task.
I think they had Gravehead cache upstairs.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, Torch was in the Stones Cave, and the Gravehead cache.
Yeah, it's hard to remember exactly how things would play out if I had searched more right from the beginning, because I just stuck close to start, and by the time I started exploring and found like Garingham and Grave, I was probably 30 plus minutes in, and then when I saw the stuff that they all had, then I was like, maybe if those were further away, this could have worked. Now I'm not so sure.
Yeah,
but
there were Shylock adjacent zones in between us and the grave and the mountain cave.
Yeah,
I think you probably come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, it was just too interesting a possibility to ignore.
And you were ahead in experience for most of the match. There were times when Tristal almost completely caught up with you, but when you hit that Wolf and Warlock grind over by Charlock, you were just pounding out those levels.
Yeah, that was the hope. Was just I really another issue another thing that could probably have helped me was getting hurt more even later. Maybe I'm really not sure. But I mean, yeah, I was definitely not even thinking about exploring until I had hurt more. And once I got it, then I was trying to figure out, now do I want to go try and find like some money, maybe Erdrick's sword, explore around looking for Hawksness, so I can start that grind as soon as possible. and the choice wasn't obvious, and I probably lost some time in comparison to an optimized grind, just with some of that indecision, or probably just making the wrong choices, trying to explore when I should have been grinding, or vice versa.
Well, regardless, you made some interesting choices. It didn't quite pan out for you, unfortunately, in this race, but it was definitely one of those things that shows that you are one of those top tier runners, because you're like, okay, I know permanent repel is on. I know exactly what I'm going to be repelling with this armor on, which is everything I can realistically kill. Let's not. Let's see what happens if I don't. Knowing that all of my advantage is going to be front loaded at the beginning of the game. The longer this game goes, the more that advantage is going to slip away. Can I get it done in time? And it's these kind of moves that makes for an entertaining race as well, from a commentator and from the crowds as well, I'm sure.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
So it was still a very well played game, and I can't really fault you for that, because I was actually saying in chat just before you did that, okay, is somebody going to actually reset to avoid that so they don't repel away everything they can realistically take on? And boom, there you go. It was on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Fun see. Really, this was a really good, I enjoyed all the challenges that came. I felt like the seed was set up in a way that decision, it could have been really boring if we had level 2 hurt more, or any of a number of things. A gold grind really easy to open up, but yeah, I felt like a really good seed. I'm looking forward to watching it back and see how everything played out.
Yeah. And also there was a fairy water and a key in Armory.
Oh yeah. So once you have a key, you got fairy waters, and you can take out some stuff.
You can grind the fairy waters, and you can start taking on the things like metal scorpions. I think was the lowest thing that they could take.
Right.
And that kind of got them out of that level 1 slog and into level 5 and 6, when they could start actually trying to do something.
Yeah.
So yeah, but other than that, it was a well-run race from all 4 runners. It really showed off everybody's skills and knowledge of the game. But any final thoughts before we call it here?
Congrats and GG to Tristal and Slamu. Go on and win the. I want to see both of you in finals. And
Thanks,
sounds good to us.
We'll do our best.
Of course, thanks to everybody putting the show on and making these restreams possible. It's been I was thrilled to even make it as far as I think the last 2 years I don't think I even made the playoffs, so even qualifying and with as high a seed as I did felt really good. So and I knew this one was make or break 2 minutes into the race, so I'm not upset with my decision. I'd do it again.
Yep.
But
now,
yeah,
of
GG's
course,
everyone, and good luck moving forward.
Now, the way the tournament works is the top 2 players from Group A and the top 2 players from Group B are going to square off against each other next week, which is going to be an interesting setup as well. That's actually going to be the Week 7 seed, which is random %. Every flag is a 50-50 shot of being on or off, excepting the challenge, the goals, and the cosmetic tabs. That includes, however, the Chaos flag. So we will see how that turns out next week. In the meantime, coming up tomorrow is the first of the second set of races. We will see Mr. Holmes, Beta Strep, Diabetes II, and Archfield Monk squaring off against each other and showing their stuff tomorrow. And then on Sunday, it looks like, is going to be the Group C matchup, which is High Spirits, Jay Coper, Brian Williams, and Ferran Burgundy. And of course, the top 2 from both of those matches will square off against each other next week. Until then, this is Sneaky the Lost. With me in the commentator's booth is Monsieur Slime, Schmike, and Monsieur Slime backing him up on the trackers. Lord of the Synth on the restreams, and we'll see you there next time.